been quite a while, so I never meant for the break between pet reviews episodes to be 6 months. So hopefully I can get more of these churned out on a more regular basis from now on. So now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. Savannah monitors, Varanus exanthematicus. Now, I've had quite a few episodes on these guys in the past, but never pet reviews. I've told you that these are bad pets and that you should stay away from them if you value your sanity. I still, by the most part, stand by what I've said in previous videos. But let's go over the official rankings. As you remember from the last pet reviews, I rank animals based on their overall difficulty. There is the beginner category with stuff like leopard geckos. Then there's intermediate, which we will get to that in a future video. But today, these guys fall squarely in the advanced/expert category. And I'll go over why. But before we get too far, let's go over how I love these guys. Now these guys have one of the coolest patterns of any reptile. Whew. Do not like that, Mufasa. They have these vertical stripes going down their back with spots on them. Now, I love these patterns, especially because they are so often aberrant patterns, which just means abnormal. They also are very curious, as you can see, by them wanting to climb everywhere. They also have one of the most fun feeding responses of any animal I've ever seen. They act like they have never seen food before, and they just charge, fully charged, right at the food, and I've even seen them do backflips for it. Another good thing about these guys, if you can tame them down, they have really good personalities. Like Mufasa here, he's almost like a puppy to me. I can pet him, I can let him do his thing. I know he's not going to bite me. Todd, not so much, because Todd's a lot younger and, well, feistier. But either way, I still love these guys, and I really wish they were a better pet for most people. So let's go into the reasons why they're not good pets for most people. Okay, reason number one that they're not good pets. They're big. They require a lot of space and a lot of stuff to eat. And what they have to eat can be hard for a lot of people to get. These guys are mostly insect feeders. So you have to get grasshoppers, locusts, crickets, hornworms, dubia roaches, African hissing cockroaches. And even if you have all those, they could still get fatty liver disease if you overfeed them. Now, both of these guys were rescues when I got them. So I had to get them down to a healthier weight. Mufasa still is a little on the chunky side, but that's just because he was fed the wrong things from birth. His previous owners had fed him rat pups, which are very high in fat. These guys are not meant to eat whole prey items like that their entire lives. So I've only had Mufasa for just over 1.5 years. And honestly, I predict that he probably won't make it his full lifespan because of his previous owner's neglect. He also has a ton of scars on his back, which leads us to another point. They require extremely hot temperatures. And in a big cage, like the ones you see beside me, these are actually their cages, that can be very hard to provide because big spaces require a lot of heat to get up to an ambient temperature requirement for these guys. And these guys need hot basking areas. We're talking temperatures right under the lamps of 145 degrees and ambient temperatures of up to 80 to 90 degrees. And in a 8-foot cage, for just one of these guys, you're going to need really powerful bulbs. You're going to need ceramic heat emitters, UVB bulbs. UVB are essential for active daytime animals like monitors. They need it to survive, because if they don't, they won't develop properly. Luckily, his previous owners did provide UVB for him, so he won't die from metabolic bone disease. This is a common thing that you see in a lot of reptiles like leopard geckos, bearded dragons, and especially aquatic turtles. It's just really bad a lot of the time, so make sure you get UVB and keep it on them and change it every 6 months, because that's how long the bulbs last. Another thing about them, they don't start out big, which is a really bad thing. People get them at pet shops when they're the size of this baby Nile monitor here. Now, while these aren't the same species, they do start out the same size. And another bad thing, these guys are way too cheap for how expensive they get it later in life. You can get a Nile monitor or a Savannah for 20 bucks at a reptile expo. You can get, and they're way too common in the pet trade, because most people don't have the know-abouts and the ability to pay for stuff like giant cages or their constantly changing food schedule. These guys are not meant for most people. I'm just gonna say that. Guys, trust me, I want to say these guys are great pets. They are some of my favorite lizards on the planet. They are super intelligent, super cool looking, and honestly, I love how big they get. Most people don't have a lizard that you could pick up like a dog. But if I was to give them a score out of 10, it'd probably be a 3. Because they are just too big for most people, they are too expensive for most people, and honestly, they're too much work for most people. These can be the right pets for somebody, but unless you're that expert level that we talked about in the intro, you really shouldn't get one of these. As much as it pains me to say it, these guys are one of the worst pets you could ever have.